Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Golden Bachelorette. Signs Joan Vassos is struggling under the pressure of intense scrutiny. Her every move is under a magnifying glass. Since getting engaged on The Golden Bachelorette, Joan Vassos and Chalk Chapel have been under a magnifying glass of public scrutiny. When 62-year-old Joan agreed to appear on Jerry Turner's season of The Golden Bachelor, she probably had no idea how much her life was about to change. Falling in love on an unscripted reality dating show has been a life-altering experience. Joan went from being a private person to having everyone know everything about her love life. Understandably, she's struggling under the intense pressure of public scrutiny. When things didn't work out between Joan and Jerry, she was cast as the Bachelor spin-off's first female lead. Joan kicked off the Golden Bachelorette Season 1 outside the iconic Bachelor Mansion. Among the 24 single golden men she'd spent the season dating was Chalk, a 60-year-old insurance executive from Kansas. Joan liked Chalk from the moment they met, and it wasn't much of a shock when she gave him her final rose. The pair got engaged and rode off into the sunset together. Since going public with their relationship, the public scrutiny has been intense. Before appearing in the casts of The Golden Bachelor Season 1 and The Golden Bachelorette Season 1, Joan lived a different life. She was a private school administrator in Rockport, Maryland. Since becoming a member of Bachelor Nation, Joan's life has changed completely. She's not a very public figure with a large social media following. Joan currently has 189K followers on Instagram, and Chalk has 80K. Though Joan knew what she was getting into by agreeing to be on the show, it's probably still a big adjustment for someone who was used to living life in relative obscurity. Since getting engaged during the Golden Bachelorette Season 1 finale, Joan and Chalk have been very transparent about their relationship. Starting a romantic relationship later in life has its own set of challenges, and fans have been interested in learning more about their journey. Being so accessible has its downsides. Joan recently posted an Instagram admitting she reads the comments under her social media posts, which is causing her anxiety. Fans took to the comment section of Joan's post to share their love and support for the Golden Bachelorette. One comment read, "So sad how negative and hateful people can be so mean." Others were more loud in their advice to Joan. "Block them and they can put negativity somewhere else," wrote another poster. "People who post rude, negative comments must have a horrible life and need to grow up and be an adult." Though blocking any negative poster may not be the right move, it's probably wise for Joan to stop reading the comments under her posts. Joan has been through so much over the years. In 2021, her life was turned upside down when Joan Vassos died. He was her husband of 32 years, who passed away from cancer. Though Joan always expected to grow old with her best friend, she had to pick herself up off the floor. Though she had never thought she'd be dating in her 60s, she made the best of it. If Joan recovered from the devastation of her late husband's death, the Instagram comment section would be no match for the Golden Bachelorette. Joan Vassos embarked on her journey as the first ever Golden Bachelorette with high hopes, a radiant smile, and a heart open to love. The idea of finding romance later in life, after enduring heartbreak and personal loss, resonated deeply with both viewers and contestants alike. However, as the season has progressed, it has become increasingly evident that the immense scrutiny she faces is beginning to take its toll. Reality television is no stranger to public judgment, but for Joan, the stakes seem even higher. Not only is she trying to navigate the complicated waters of dating multiple men, but she is also dealing with the weight of being a trailblazer for an entirely new chapter in Bachelor Nation. The pressure is mounting, and signs of her struggle are starting to show. 1. She's more guarded than ever. In the early episodes, Joan exuded warmth and an eagerness to form deep connections. She embraced the process with an open heart and an optimistic outlook. However, as the season has unfolded, she appears to be withdrawing. Her once vibrant enthusiasm now seems tempered by hesitation. Conversations that should be lighthearted and fun sometimes come across as measured and cautious. While some might attribute this to a natural evolution in the process, longtime fans of the franchise know the difference between careful deliberation and outright reservation. Joan's increasing hesitancy suggests that she is becoming hyper-aware of how each word and action will be dissected by the audience. 2. The overwhelming public opinion is taking its toll. Bachelor Nation is one of the most vocal and opinionated fandoms in reality television. While many fans have embraced Joan with open arms, others have taken a more critical stance. Every choice she makes, from who she gives a rose to how she expresses her emotions, is met with a wave of social media chatter. In recent weeks, Joan has been noticeably quieter online. Initially, she engaged with fans, sharing behind-the-scenes moments and expressing gratitude for the experience. Now, her social media presence has dwindled, leading many to speculate that she is feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of unsolicited advice, critiques, and sometimes even harsh judgments. 3. The emotional weight of the journey is becoming unbearable. Unlike traditional seasons of The Bachelorette, Joan's experience is unique. She isn't a starry-eyed 20-something navigating first-time heartbreaks. She is a woman who has lived, loved, and suffered loss. That depth of life experience makes her journey all the more compelling, but also more emotionally taxing. Several moments on the show have hinted at the emotional burden she carries. In a particularly poignant scene, Joan was seen retreating from a cocktail party, overwhelmed by emotions. When producers asked if she was okay, she took a deep breath before admitting, "This is harder than I thought." The weight of making the right decision, honoring the emotions of the men vying for her heart, and maintaining the dignity and grace expected of her seems to be pushing her to her limits. While she remains composed in front of the cameras, those closest to her have noticed the toll it is taking. 4. The doubts are creeping in. When Joan was first announced as the Golden Bachelorette, she exuded confidence in her decision to embark on this journey. She was eager to open her heart again and find companionship in a way she never imagined possible. But now, doubt seems to be creeping in. Recently, she was overheard telling a contestant, "I don't know if I'm built for this." It was a rare moment of vulnerability, revealing that the process may not be aligning with her expectations. While the pressure of choosing between multiple men is overwhelming in itself, the added layer of public scrutiny has only made it harder for her to trust herself and her instincts. 5. Her physical appearance has shifted. Reality television is an exhausting experience, and sometimes the stress manifests physically. Joan has always presented herself with grace and poise, but eagle-eyed fans have noticed subtle changes. Dark circles under her eyes, a slightly subdued energy, and a stiffness in her body language all point to the fact that she is carrying a significant amount of stress. While she remains stunning and elegant, there is a noticeable difference in the lightness she exuded at the beginning of the season versus now. The process is clearly wearing on her, and despite her best efforts, the strain is evident. 6. She's second-guessing her connection. At the beginning of the season, Joan seemed decisive in the connections she was forming. She had her eye on a few key contenders, and her interactions felt organic and genuine. However, as the season has progressed, she appears more uncertain. Viewers have noticed her backtracking on earlier statements and seemingly flip-flopping between contestants. While it's normal for emotions to evolve throughout the journey, her hesitation feels more like fear of making the wrong choice under the public eye rather than a natural shift in feelings. It's clear that she's grappling with the weight of making the right decision in the eyes of both herself and the audience. 7. The tears are coming more frequently. Joan is no stranger to emotional moments, but in recent episodes, the tears have been flowing more frequently. From private interviews to intense conversations with the men, she has been visibly emotional more often than not. While vulnerability is a crucial part of the process, Joan's tears don't just stem from heartfelt moments. They seem to be coming from a place of exhaustion and internal conflict. Her ability to stay composed is wavering, and fans are beginning to wonder if the pressure is simply too much for her to bear.